sort of, you know, ish. All right, so it's Friday, and this is our last VODCAST of February, because Dom and I are both sick next Friday. Real sick, down bad. Influenza, like it's worse than the flu. We can't even talk about it, honestly. It's so, our illness is so experimental that the government will send the Pinkertons after us if we talk about it too much. So suffice to say though, a lot of people on our server have caught this, and I think everyone, like the peak of the illness is going to hit right around February 28th. Is when I think it's going to hit. Yeah. Anyways,
for those who don't know, the acronym for it is NHW.
NHW. That does sound pretty.
MHW.
NHW. I have the NHW PS5 variant of the disease. It's
the PC variant.
That's rough, bro. That's rough. I heard they cross-contaminate each other though, so it's really bad.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Anyways, let's talk about the server then. This is our last podcast of February. I had suggested two different things to talk about, and one of them was too scary and too controversial, and the other one was too hyper specific, I guess. So we were going to talk about AI tools. We were going to talk about Dom's recent playtest with Monster Hunter, but apparently everybody already bombarded you with feedback, so I guess we're good in that one. My only feedback is Greatsword needs a signature reaction move to make up for losing reactive strike. That's what I'm saying. So consider giving it like a block, like a better block than parry. You know what I'm saying? Like something good like that would be kind of cool. So maybe even a risky block. You know what I'm saying? Or let it function as a tower shield. Oh, that'd be sick. That would be absolutely sick. So that's a good one. But that's all. That's pretty much all I had for you. Was Greatsword. If I hadn't made a character with really good unarmed strikes with different parts of their body, it would have been like just really sad to play. So that's what I think it needs. All right, then let's talk about the server in general. January is come and gone. February has begun, and is cruising towards the finish line. March just on the horizon. So we'll call this the Q1 server vibe check. Man, what should we start with? Should we start with tabletop? We should start with tabletop because that's like the main brand, right? It's tabletop. Okay.
Overview of what's happening.
What's happening?
Q1.
Oh my God! All right.
Yeah. What's happening Q1?
So we have a Discord server, and it has a lot of people on it. And that's something people like to say. They say, we got X number of people on our Discord server. I don't like the fact that we have so many people on our Discord server because I don't like people. But we have like over, 350 people, something like that.
Something like that.
A lot of games being run on the server. TTRPG games, Dungeons & Dragons games, Pathfinder games, games from all manner of systems. Just somebody's running an Aliens game. We were running Tales from the Loop. A lot of games going on. Also, a lot of video games going on the server. Marvel Rivals took everybody by storm for a couple of months there, a couple of solid months there. Civilizations showed up and left. Apparently.
We were playing last night.
All right, it's still good. All right. Magic the Gathering has made a reappearance.
That's all. Will.
Yeah.
Will just came in and dragged everybody.
Yeah. And then people are talking about Solasta 2 demo coming up. I'm not super hype. I just kind of want to play it when it comes out, like I did with Baldur's Gate. I went into Baldur's Gate 100% blind. I had no idea. So for me, it was incredible. It was incredible. It was a Nintendo 64 kid experience because I had no idea what I was getting into. I was like, hey, I hope it's as good as Solasta. That was my standard. My standard was, I hope Baldur's Gate 3 is as good as Solasta. That was my standard. So I want to keep that. I'm going to go into Solasta 2 and I'm going to say I want it to be as good as Solasta 1. And that's my only standard. So I don't want to have any. You know what? I don't want any teasers or anything. I'm gonna stay completely blind and just go in at the end. Yeah, exactly. I'll just, when it's cooked, it's cooked. You know what I'm saying? When the oven timer goes off, I'll show up and play the shit out of some Solasta. So that's.
So I will say what this demo is. It has nothing to do with the full game. Completely separate story, standalone by itself. You play it. It's single player only, and it's pre-made characters only. That changes anybody's mind.
Sorry, I have this delicious lumpia I had to eat, so you know. No, it doesn't change my mind at all. That's even worse. That's even worse. Okay.
Yeah, it turned off Remy. So.
Yeah. Solasta with friends. That's the magic. Solasta by itself, no. All right. Let's see what else is going on the server. I started 3 new campaigns and I ended 2 in the last 6 weeks. That's kind of nuts. What else? Cryptic Muffin started a game on the server.
Yep.
Is this officially their first paid game?
Yep.
Yeah, and of course it's hosted on the best server on the Citadel, which is good. Yep. Any other new game start? Oh yeah, Red started a new game.
Yeah, Red started a game. Yep.
Yeah.
Friendly Tusk.
Friendly Tusk. Was it Tusk of?
Triumph of the Tusk.
Triumph of the Tusk. So this is basically Worlds of Warcraft, but the orcs didn't take the deal. Like, that's pretty much what's going on. Like, it's Worlds of Warcraft, but they didn't drink the demon blood. They were like, no, fuck you, demons. Is that pretty much what happened?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't want to spoil the whole campaign, but that's kind of what it sounds like from what I've picked up. It's like, yeah. Let's see, what else? Oh, okay. Butler Log had a cool session. 3 to 4 encounters left in Super Hell. Then the party gets mythic paths unlocked. I have been affected by Butler Log's mythic radiation. The mythic rules dropped right as Mythic Odyssey was ending, and you want to know what regret feels like. Ending your mythic campaign right as cool mythic rules come out. Because, again, I think we've talked about it before. I'm very sure that when they were writing these mythic rules for Pathfinder, they were also holding in their other hand an open copy of Odyssey of the Dragonlords. Because there's a lot of overlap. And, man, if I could turn back time, well, actually, if I could go in my time machine with a copy of the Mythic Rules from Paizo and then run Mythic Odyssey as a Pathfinder game using the Mythic Rules, I'd probably just retire from TTRPGs after that. I think that'd be it. That'd be it for me.
Mm-hmm.
As it is, the more he plays and shows me of his original homebrew campaign with the Mythic Rules, the more I'm like, well, I'm obviously going to have to whip these Mythic Rules out in some of my games. Now, I would never rob you of the sweet vanilla fantasy that Kingmaker has promised you. So you don't worry about any Mythic Rules coming in there. But over in Stolen Fate, where they've already killed themselves, not through suicide, but through clone murder, like 3 or 4 times in only 4 sessions. Oh, yeah.
We're talking about 50-something sessions.
Oh, yeah, my bad. 57 sessions, yeah. So that seems like a great campaign to drop all the banana stuff. Like, to just go completely ham, right? Just drop all that stuff. And I was looking for a cool way to introduce sort of like a gum fruit, like a devil fruit type system into Skyhaven. So, I mean, if you eat a special sky fruit and it gives you mythic powers, I mean, that seems like a pretty cool way to...
Hey.
Yeah?
Part of me was looking at the Monster Hunter game. Is like, I've never done it with carts. You know what looks like carts?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. Mythic Dying, dude. Yep. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Mythic Dying is also... It's very much like having training wheels on there, which for me in Skyhaven has been great because, I'm real bad at building encounters that are in any way, let's just in general, right? And so like we've had a couple of times already in 7 sessions, a couple of times, I think 2, maybe it was more than 2, but 2 times where people have actually had to use the Mythic Dying rules. And is that really statistically different than any Pathfinder 2 adventure path at low level though? Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like
I mean, especially with the roles in Skyhaven, it makes sense. I mean, they know about it, and I'm glad. You know what? And I respect that they understand what their position.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, it's a great group. Mm-hmm. I am absolutely enamored with the Skyhaven group. They I don't know. It's like, so I have pugs, right? Pugs aren't like normal dogs. Okay, pugs are like a different kind of animal. Like, to say that they're a dog is, yeah, okay, I guess, because there's nothing else to compare it to, right? So yeah, they're a dog. They started as a dog maybe, but they're definitely not a dog. You take a regular dog to the dog park, you don't know what's going to happen, right? Is that dog going to get in a fight? Is that dog going to make a friend? Is that dog going to throw down try to hump another dog? Like, what's going to happen, right? When you take a pug to a pug meetup, it's just, they just love each other. They're just instantly friends. They snort each other. They run around. A new pug comes up. No one gets mad. Nothing changes. The mood never changes. It's just happiness all the time. Just pugs everywhere. That's the players I have assembled for Skyhaven. Like, they just I put them in together in a pen, and they just love each other. It's so beautiful. It's so pure. I mean, they cheer me up. They cheer me up every time we sit down for a session. I'm very, very happy about it. So,
awesome.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, like, then we got Monster Hunter dropping on the 28th, which is unfortunate because, so many people are going to be sick on the 28th or whatever. So the game coming out on the 28th is unfortunate because we're probably going to be too sick to enjoy it. But I do think a lot of people are going to want to hunt monsters, and we do have a nice Discord server. So this Discord server definitely be a good place to find other people to hunt monsters with. Now you might say, Crash, Dom, I've never played the Monster Hunter before. I've never played the Monster Hunter before. I don't know what to do. You just show up. Seriously, just show up. Yeah. No one cares. No one cares. We're not a bunch of tryhards. We're not a bunch of dirty sweats. You know what I'm saying? We're just hunting monsters. Yep. Okay? We're just hunting monsters. Yep. I think the majority of people on our server, and this was proven to me by the Let's Get Crash to Gold in Marvel Rivals tournament arc or whatever. This is a server of people who value like other people, right? Like, it's not about like making this like incredible team of like super soldiers and like Navy SEAL SWAT teaming it to victory. It's like being around other people and knowing that other people are a mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nice. It's really nice. Like, the opportunity to teach people something that you really love, I think, is more important to the people on our server than having perfect hunts back to back all the time. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'll give you an example. I've never played Magic or Commander. I've never played Magic ever.
Yeah.
Period. And just this week, I played Commander for the first time. Learned it. People, Will and a group of people and everybody who was playing it taught me how to do it. I'm taking like 20-minute turn, 10-minute turns because I don't know. I'm trying to read every single card, trying to figure out stuff. Me as a person who also values other people are trying to put the effort to learn. Yeah, so I don't take that long, but I don't waste other people's turns, and they're putting the effort to teach me. So we're all working together to have fun.
It is a fun game. Commander, in my opinion, is the purest form of the game. I think it's the best Magic, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people don't feel that way, but I, as a person who has played it since the game literally came out, because remember, I am ancient and I am the land. Okay, and the land in this case was California. I've been playing the game since.
What color?
What's my favorite color?
No, what color land are you? You said you were the land.
If you had to guess, what mono color of the six colors do you think I am? Because you haven't played with me, right? So you don't know anything about my Magic style. So what do you think my color is in Magic?
Red and black.
I mean, red, black, and white are my 3 colors. Red and white are my 2 colors, and then red is my 1 color. So,
okay,
yeah. But, yeah. But I do run a lot of white too. I like white. So, I like white because white to me represents how good actually is. Which is to say, it says it's good, and then it does a board wipe. Like, to me, there's nothing more real.
We're removing all evil.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry we removed everything else, but we did get rid of all the evil. Like, I like that. I like that whole vibe. So, I have a basic bitch, pumpkin spice latte girl, angel deck. That's my favorite deck that I built. Yeah. So I mean, I'm all about that. Just like when I play video games, I like to keep it simple. I don't have any like Cadenex complex, like big brains, 17 steps to success deck. Like all my decks are like 1 or 2 colors, and you get out there and you smash. Like it's just different flavors of smashing. That's all it is. So
the first time I played, Will made me a blue white mech deck. So a giant mech.
That's complicated. Everything had to do with a first deck, man. Like vehicles are complicated.
Yeah, it was complicated. I think it took me a while to get used to it, but I eventually got it at the end. You know, sort of what it's trying to do. Yeah, so it was fun.
Have you seen the parallels that I'm always comparing Commander to Pathfinder 2?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Do you get it now? Do you get it, right?
I get it now.
You have your character, and then you have 500,000 cards that you can pick, and you can only pick 99 of them. Well, technically 98 because you got a Soul Ring. So you can only pick 98 cards out of out of 50,000, 500,000 cards, right? That you can pick, and that's how it feels making a Pathfinder character. Is like you have all these choices, and with free archetype, like.
And you only ever have 3 land.
Oh yeah, true. Man, I do play kind of slim on. I play with treasure a lot because I hate being like stuck with land. So I'm a big treasure player. So I'm the worst parts of Commander. I want a Commander match to end in 5 turns or less. That's me. So.
You gotta jump down and join the group when we play sometime. You haven't played yet with the group.
I've been watching you guys like Squidward out the window. I've been watching you guys, but I have so much work I got going on right now. I can't even. So on the topic of that work, I will tell you right now, I have made a huge mistake. These are the 3 biggest games I've ever tried to run at the same time. It's like, yeah.
All of them are up to 22. So all of them go up to 20, right?
Technically, yeah, they all go to 20, right? Because Stolen Fate. I'm looking at the thumbnail. Stolen Fate starts at 11 and goes to 20. And then the other 2 are 1 to 20, and then Skyhaven is 1 to 20 semi-accelerated, and then Kingmaker is 1 to 20 deliberately slowed down. Yeah, but like I've run 2 Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, and they don't even scratch the surface of the complexity of Kingmaker. Like Kingmaker really and truly is the most complicated campaign ever. Like,
I mean,
yeah.
When we
I
were
have over 500 pages of notes. Yeah.
So like when me, Darby, and Remy were like just going through the kingdom sheet and trying to wrap our heads around everything and like figure out how we're gonna select everything. One, just at least for the theme of the kingdom, and then also like how does everything work here? And like Remy went through and made like another spreadsheet of just listing out the skills, what the skills do, what feats are related to the skills, just so we have an idea of like, okay, if we're gonna have to make all these really big decisions in the beginning, like what's gonna give us the flavor we're looking for here? And it's been a lot to wrap. Like we've had like maybe like, I don't know, since the last session, maybe like 2-3 meetings of us just hanging around, sort of chatting and looking at everything, looking at the doc, wrapping our heads around the sheet and everything like that.
Oh yeah. Let
Even
me bust out this revised player's guide, right? This revised player's guide that doesn't even have the warfare rules in it. And if you were to try to print this document, I think it's 150 plus pages.
Yeah.
150 plus pages player guide. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I did go through the kingdom rules and I tried to like kind of break things out to sort of like, expand on them and like reword them in case like the words were too like, I don't know, pedantic. I don't know if that's the word, but like too academic. Do you know what I'm saying? Because how Pathfinder kids are. They're like, hey, I want everybody to know that I got a master's degree in English. It's like, that's cool, bro.
So far, when we've read something, it's made sense. It's just, it's a lot.
Well, look at an average kingdom turn. Look at this kingdom turn. It's crazy. Yeah. You got to do one of these every month in game once you have a kingdom. And some people, not us, but some people, they make you do it for each settlement. You got to do it for each settlement in your kingdom. So every time you start a new settlement, you got to be doing a kingdom turn for every single settlement. That's a lot. That's a lot of kingdom turns.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Look at all these things you have to choose from. I've been told that like decision paralysis is huge for this. Like it's real bad. Like even if you know all of the things that you can do, it's still going to be like so crippling because it's like you're going to find out that like these checks are hard to do. And then and like the penalties for critically failing these are catastrophic. So it's going to be like so stressed. It's going to be so stressed.
Because of that, we've been like, okay, these are the things that we definitely need because these are the things that are going to help us repair the stuff that's going to eventually fail because we know we're not going to pass all these checks.
Oh yeah,
and then
it's nuts.
Like all the stuff to get rid of unrest, all the stuff to get rid of corruption. Like we've been looking at those.
Yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff going on. It's pretty exciting. I tried to go through here and like give you guys like you're all from Brevoy, so like this is like what you guys know about the rest of the area through the perspective of somebody from Brevoy. So instead of just giving you like the Wikipedia entry, it's kind of like this is how the people of Brevoy feel about Pitax. This is how they feel about the Centaurs, to kind of try to make it a little bit more immersive. Yeah, but man, it is complicated. It is complicated. So I'm I don't know. This alone, running just this campaign, would have been too much. It would have been too much work. And then I was like, well, I'm gonna run Stolen Fate, and that's a super linear adventure, and I bought it, and everything's already prepped, and it's gonna be fine. And then I advertised it to everybody in, on my Outlaws games. I'm like, yeah, I went and picked this up, and I'm gonna run it because I wanted to play it, but then I decided I didn't want to play it, but I still want to run it. And like, they're like, have you read it? Is it cool? And I'm like, I've read the player's guide, and I'm excited about it. And they're like, I'll sign up for it. Then I finally sat down to prep it, and I was like, this is the worst adventure I've ever read in my life. And then I was like, I don't want to cancel it though, right? Because I wanted to keep playing with those characters like Grom and Jericho, Vulture, Stack the Deck, like Bella. Those are great characters, great players. Like I want to keep playing with them. And so I'm like, I'll just make my own. I'll just make my own Stolen Fate with cocaine and hookers. You know what I'm saying? I'll just do it my own way. And that's been incredibly liberating and like super fun. And I'm gonna tell like the craziest multiverse story ever. And I love multiverse stuff. I love Planescape. This is gonna be like my love letter to everything meta. Like if the Lotus Witch from Odyssey of Dragonlords was asked to write an adventure path for Paizo, this is the adventure path that she would have written. That's how I'm approaching this. Like this is the most Enter the Spider-Verse like nonsense of a campaign that I've ever made. So I'm like very, very excited about this. But that's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work to rewrite an entire adventure path, right? So you might say, well, then that's good. You don't have any other games. No, I decided I had an idea, and I couldn't get it out of my head. It was One Piece's fault, I think. I was watching my way through One Piece, just binging 1,500 episodes of One Piece over a span of like 18 months or whatever, and I finally got through it. But I was so like filled with One Piece that like I kept thinking about Skull and Shackles every day. I would think about Skull and Shackles every day. I'd dress up like Wolverine. I'd lay in bed and I'd hold a picture of Alora, and I would just touch the picture, and I would just be like, I want to be back there. I want to be there again. And I was like, I can't though. I'm not gonna run Skull and Shackles again. That's dumb. But then people were talking about like, what about airships? What about, wouldn't it be cool? Like Stone had this really cool idea. He's like, well, what if we did a West Marches game in like a air place and I was just like, go on. And then I was just like, oh my God, we could combine Skull and Shackles with the elemental plane of air, and it will be amazing. And so like, I couldn't get the idea out of my head, and like I was like just so filled with like creative energy and like the joy of like homebrew and creation, and I was just like, I was learning so much about Galarian lore and stuff because I wanted it to feel like authentic but also unique, and like it was so good. I was like so happy about it.
I think you might have been pent up after doing so much Raw with Outlaws.
It killed me a little bit inside, I'm gonna be honest. Sticking to my promise of running Outlaws as raw as possible, it killed me inside. Like it definitely, I felt the death of myself. And it's not the players' fault. I love the players. I love the player characters. They were great. It hurt. It hurt to see something bad and just be like, guess I'm running it anyways. Like, to all you vanilla missionary DMs out there that you just run it by the book, I don't know. That's your life. That's your life, buddy. Like, that's fine. But like, I just never again. Never again. But I will from now on. I'm gonna be very, very blunt and honest about my advertisements for games. Like, I'm gonna say that, like, this campaign's gonna have like homebrew in it. Like, it's gonna have homebrew elements, like that kind of thing. I feel like I should have put that in the ad for Kingmaker, or maybe I would have had less players. Like, if I have put like, hey, I'm gonna probably, there's like a region the size of Maine, and there's a lot of content that I'm responsible for filling in, so there's going to be homebrew. But I felt like that should have been implied with like the hex crawl nature of the game. But anyways, yeah. But yeah, it's been really exciting. But like building an entire world from scratch, and then like Skyhaven, without too many spoilers, it's 3 layers of the elemental plane of air. So there's 3 different oceans, as it were, to explore. Just like we did in Skull and Shackles, where we had the shackles, then we had the underseas, and then we had the cloud seas. It's that same idea. You got the 3 different levels of sky that you can explore, and they're all hex based, and then there's something going on in every single hex. I mean, I like poured it all out, all the pent up creativity from like a year and a half of running it raw. It just spilled out from me like an endless fountain. But here's the problem. Each one of those things that I described is more than enough for like one person to run once a week, and that's the only game they run. And I have decided to do all 3 of them, and then all of them started in the same month. And that was a bad idea. Yeah, it was a bad idea. But so far so good. I feel like all 3 games are going well. I do feel like they're going well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I think like the pacing of all the pacing is going to allow you to sort of get ahead of it, probably. Like the player pacing for those games, because I mean I don't know how fast it's been for for you for Stolen Fates or Skyhaven, but I feel like we've been going at like a not like a fast pace for Kingmaker, but like a moderate pace that if you definitely need the time to to get ahead, you'll you're probably going to be prepping faster than we are going to be catching up, most likely.
So the interesting thing about 2 of the games being sandbox games, right, is that Kingmaker, and this isn't too much spoilers. I don't think actually that this is any spoilers. Kingmaker and Skyhaven follow a similar setup, which is you are in a linear adventure. Like, that's the tutorial, right? That kind of like funnels you in to the game, and from there, anything's possible, right? So the idea is like, I had to build or, you know, be ready to run that sort of introductory arc, right? That very linear, go here, go here, go here, go here. But both games are almost at the point where it's going to be like, go anywhere you want. And a lot of the prep that I've been doing for these games, especially for the last 3 months, has not been prepping content at all. I've been prepping like foundations and like systems that will allow me to run any content at any time, even in the BTT space. That's really been like the toughest part of this, I think, is that because I'm not great at Foundry, and a lot of the tools that I needed were, for me, pretty difficult to learn and pick up. Like, this Bailey Wiki stuff is like, whoo, yeah. Like, I mean, I used to mod, you know, Skyrim and Oblivion and stuff like that. That's nothing. That's nothing compared to just trying to use Bailey Wiki. Bailey Wiki is complicated. And so that's been a whole thing of like learning how to use these more advanced tools, going with the Ripper tools, kind of trying to up the game and learn the tools themselves, right? So that you can automate as much as possible and then be present for the things that matter, right? Like be present for and that's a different way for me of running games than I usually do, because, you know, I'm like a ditch digger, you know what I'm saying? Like, I am not going to build and maintain a robot to dig a ditch if I could just dig the ditch myself. But like for these games, I have become a robot builder. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I have built robots, and I am taking care of robots, and those robots are digging the ditches for me. And it's a very different way for me to approach running a game than I usually do. But I think if I hadn't spent the last 3 months building these foundations, I would not have successfully launched all 3 of these huge games back to back to back to back to back. You know what I'm saying? In a single month, like while finishing 2 other games, same month. The same month, like finishing all that. Well, technically no, because we finished Mythic right before Christmas, right? So it's kind of like, it was kind of like a window of 8 weeks, right? Like 6 to 8 weeks where like two huge games ended and then 3 huge games started. Well, actually more than that, right? Because didn't Outlaws Outlaws High Noon. So we ended 3 games and then started 3 games in a span of like 7 weeks.
Mythic and Sunset sort of ended around the same time, but you still had Daybreak and High Noon.
So I ended like 4 games and started 3 games in 8 weeks. Oh my god, that was so stupid. That was a really dumb thing to do. All right, well, it's over now. We'll move on. I'll definitely learn from my mistakes, and I'll never do it again.
Hopefully, maybe all 3 of these games will end at the same time. Well, I know Kingmaker's not.
Actually, I deliberately paced these out. Like, ideally, Stolen Fate will go 1 year, Skyhaven will go 2 years, and Kingmaker will go 3 years. But based on how strongly you guys are already engaging with the Kingmaker content, we're definitely going to go over 3 years, I think. We're definitely going to go over 3 years. Because I feel like you guys are not going to want to miss out on content. And I think in order to finish in a timely fashion, you'll have to be willing to let things go. And I don't know if you guys are going to be willing to let things go. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see. Yeah. But
I'm playing a very different character from Maya, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's true. You were pretty rude to that harem guy. That harem guy was like, he was just trying to, just looking for help. I mean, dang. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm excited to see where this go. I like all the characters that you guys have brought to the table.
Same here.
Yeah, I think it's a very cool group. All right, what else is going on? Tell me about this carrying crown.
So it's actually been a really cool. Like, this is my first time playing in a full campaign that's run by Leah. I will say she's really good GM, really good GM. So there's that. Start off there, and the Darby. I know Darby has been saying this a lot, that the 1E adventure paths have been are much better than the 2E ones, and so far this adventure path has been really cool. Like, the stuff that we've ran into.
He ain't wrong at all.
Yeah.
If you like
now experiencing
if you like the flavor of Baldur's Gate 3, right? If you like that flavor, that's in the first edition Pathfinder Adventures and not in the second edition Pathfinder Adventures.
Not necessarily about the the themes and stuff like that. More just what's the structure of what we're doing. Like, we came up there's a clear, so far, at least in this beginning part, we've had a clear goal while we came here, and that goal has the theme has been investigation. Like, we're solving a mystery, and the clues that have shown up have been really good, and they're not so obvious that it's easy to figure out where we're going, but to the point where then it clicks, and then when it does click, almost all of us are like, oh wait, that's where it's going, and stuff like that. So it's been really good. I don't know how much of that is part of the adventure of this, Darby and Leah just being really good at writing this, adjusting the story and playing through it. For our characters, it's been really good. We've had, I think session 2 or 3, a character died to Mummy Rot. They rolled really bad on their save against the disease, and then somebody else got caught with a disease, and we were worried about them dying too, because that disease also killed you. I don't know, Darby has a thing with diseases that kill you. But overall, it's been really good. Sort of the theme of the campaign, it's very gothic horror bit. We're dealing with a weird town that has people that are sort of down bad and sort of haunted by the environment that's around them. We're dealing with ghost stuff, and there was a horrible prison that a lot of people died, and the town is around this all the stuff there. You walk around, there's all the farmers look beat horrible and scary looking, but they're just regular farmers and stuff like that. So it's been good.
Big Barovia vibes. Got some
big Barovia vibe.
Well, this takes place in Ustalav, right? Which is Pathfinder Barovia. Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. So it's been really good.
I love Ustalav. They had a whole adventure with Baba Yaga, and you ended up in Russia and all sorts of stuff. That's why Russian is a language you can speak in Pathfinder. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So you're enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
You had said
playing
you had said that you were only doing the first part. Are you gonna stick around for the whole thing?
No, I'm only gonna do the first part.
Okay. Oh wow. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you doing that so that you can run your Monster Hunter game?
Part of that, yes. The other part is that I'm trying to stick to my New Year's resolution of playing less games and more miniseries.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe I'll skip the middle book and come back for the last book if there's room. Yeah,
that's cool. I like games like that where it's kind of drop in, drop out to a certain extent. I'm actually not. It depends on the game, right? It depends on the game for sure. But do you remember the Storm King's Thunder post-game series I did? Right?
Yeah.
Where people, the biggest complaint I got from the players is we wanted to do all the giants. And I'm like, well, that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? The clock is moving. The world is moving. It's not Skyrim. They're not going to wait for you to travel to each giant and deal with each giant separately. You know what I'm saying? You got the giants that you got. That's what you got. And they were that sucks. So I was like, fine, I'll give you the other giants. So we did the post-game series where you did the 3 giants that they forgot to do or ran out of time for. And that I thought this was a really fun series because we had some of the same players and then we had different players. And so there was sort of that mix of the new and the old. It made the world feel very alive, right? It made the Sword Coast feel like a place full of adventurers. You know what I'm saying? Where they're like, hey, the Harpers are a real organization, and the Emerald, whatever they are, they're like a real organization. Like they're sending agents to actually take care of problems in the world. Like, you know, Justice League is sending their people out to actually look into these problems that are happening. Yeah. So I thought that was really great. I think it has a place. You know what I mean? I remember, I forget who the creator was. There was a content creator that was running Mad Mage, and he was Dungeons of the Mad Mage, and he was hot seating it. So like, it would be like you'd sign up for it, and I think it was like lottery based. Like you'd put your name on the list, and then you'd, you know, get chosen off of like the lottery of like, are you playing this week or not? And then the story was just the dungeon's big enough that like your character that was there last week, they're back there right now doing stuff, and then this character that was back there is now up here. B team, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like people were kind of moving in and out of the B team. And I think for a game like that, it could definitely work. You know what I'm saying? A game that isn't really character-centric, it's like setting-centric. I think that works really, really good. So, yeah. It's also less stress on the DM to retain players if you have a game like that.
Definitely Dungeon Town game that with a large enough dungeon. That's a perfect setting for it.
You say Dungeon Town, make me sad for what could have been, man. I think about Crown of the Kobold King couple times a week. Think about Crown of the Kobold King a couple times a week. So, yeah. 6 years ago. I mean, 6 years ago, maybe there was a cat named Bailey. There was a cat named Bailey, and this cat, he put his paw right against the cage, and I touched his paw, and we connected. Yeah, we connected psychically, right? But at the time, my wife was adamant, like, we're not going to get a cat. My kid had like cat allergies, the whole deal, and they were like, you can't get Bailey the cat. This is not going to happen. You can't get Bailey the cat. And I think about Bailey the cat at least once a week for the last 6 years. So like, now I think about Bailey the cat once a week, and I think about Crown of the Kobold King. So those like the two things I lost. The two things I lost.
Maybe there's a moment in Stolen Fates when they they're for some reason they're all Kobold versions of themselves in this timeline. You know.
Ooh, I kind of like that. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that had so much potential to be like a Madcap Grand Theft Auto esque sort of game, but it's all good.
What's her name? There's a gingerbread Loveless who's the sheriff of that town.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh man. Yeah, man. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. For now, I'm going to focus on, running these three massive, awesome games. I do have something on the back burner. It is my Starfinder Voltron game. That may or may not heavily be influenced by some of the mythos from Iron Gods. We'll see. But yeah. So I know I've mentioned it to you before. But I have been working on this Voltron game for a very long time. Since the Netflix Voltron came out. So I don't even remember how long ago that was. 8 years? I don't know how long ago Netflix Voltron came out. But as a child who loved Voltron, I loved the Netflix Voltron reboot. And as soon as I was watching it, I got a notebook and I was writing notes for this campaign. So this is like a Crash original. Over 8 years in the making, I guess. I don't know. It's gonna be crazy.
As a little kid, I had one of my favorite action figures was having all the lions, all robots, and then fit them together, turn them into their form, and playing around with those. So I really enjoyed Voltron 2, and if it's a Starfinder, sci-fi fantasy, and giant robots fused together, I'm gonna have a hard time. If that King comes out and you put out that posting, and I don't have a spot for it, I'm gonna be hurting.
I mean, it's gonna be good, bro. It's gonna be real good. Got to get them good mech rules though. We got to get them good mech rules out. So hopefully by the time I'm ready to do it, we have the cool mech rules. But I mean,
they have I don't know if you saw anything about the new NPC book.
Oh yes, the dating simulation book. Yeah, I've been following it.
Well, there's an engineer. They had like a whole bunch of engineering NPCs, and there's one engineering NPC who has a mech suit.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Progress. It's like hinting at future content. Yeah. I'm into it. Now I got to figure out though, how do we do the mechs? How do you do 5 people operating one giant robot, right? We kind of had it. Remember in Skull and Shackles, we kind of had it. Remember when their ship transformed into a kaiju to fight like the goddess of decay at the bottom of the ocean? And then we had a pretty good minigame system for how the 6 of them controlled their mecha. I thought it was okay. Yeah. But maybe the fusion rules that we busted out for Extra Life, maybe those fusion rules is where the answer lies for making 5 robots combined into one robot.
Yeah.
Dang. Oh man. Anyways, I gotta stop thinking about that stuff. I got enough on my plate right now. Okay. Any other things for our server that you want to talk about? Any other vibe checks on the server?
Yeah, I mean, I've ran the two Monster Hunter one shots, and so far I think they've been pretty good. I've gotten some good feedback about the weapons and the monsters, and so it's just making me really excited for when I actually have the time to run the actual get the actual game listing up for the actual full campaign. So there's that. Part of me is kind of thinking maybe I should set it up as a morning game, because right now there's no morning games going on, and maybe have room for some of our EU people on the server.
Oh, that'd be cool.
To have a game, yeah, because I know we don't have one, so I'm thinking about that. So yeah, there's that. What else? I know Red started his game. I watched the first episode of that. It's been really good. It was really good.
I mean, it's an all-star cast. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's some real great players in there.
Yeah. It's really good.
I don't know how to get those players back. We're like always like 2 ships passing in the night. So Ness and Johnny. If you can get Ness and Johnny in a game, dang, that's good. That's good stuff. Oh well. I'll throw that into the Bailey box. So. All right. Anything else?
Let me see here. Games. We talked about all the video games that we've been playing right now. Any other one shots? How was what you call it? Tales of the Loop, because it ended.
I felt that Tales of the Loop ended well. I was impressed that Caden X brought it all together. I feel like there was a lot of loose ends, and that he is a sort of meandering storytelling kind of guy. So it could not have been an easy thing for him to sort of grab all of those loose ends and just tie them up in a nice little bow for us at the end there. So I was actually really impressed. Like when we went on break with only like an hour left, I was like, are you gonna make it? Like, you're gonna be able to do this? He's like, I think so. And he did tie it all together. There was like, I have to issue an apology to the rules system. And I don't 100% blame Caden X for this, because he was running it as like a free game for like, let's check out the system, right? And none of the 4 of us players read the rules. So we 100% just believed everything that we were told at face value about the game, and we just went with it. And the problem, and I've pointed this out to people, I've said this many times, the problem with playing too many different TTRPGs is that the wires will get crossed in your brain. Like, people would ask me, why do you only run 5e? You've been running 5e for 10 years. Why do you only run 5e? Because I want to get the rules right. That's why. Because I want to get the rules right. In that transitional period between ending 5e and starting Pathfinder, we were making a lot of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Because we were crossing the wires. Oh, this is what we do in D&D. This is what we do in Pathfinder. So yeah, he had some of the rules were from the Transformers game, which when combined with the Loop game, it made it very hard to do anything. And so the 4 of us thought that the system kind of sucked, even though like the premise was cool and his storytelling skills was cool and our characters were cool, but none of us were like, this kind of sucks. But then Dirk, he started playing and running the Aliens game, which uses the same system, and in doing so, he actually like read the rules, and then for the final session, he kind of came in and was like, well, it's kind of like this in the Aliens game, and I was like, son of a bitch. So like I opened the rules and I'm like, oh my god. So I actually now would like to issue a public apology. I think that the rules for Tales of the Loop are just fine. I thought they were really bad. I thought they were very punishing. I didn't think they were very fun. We were doing everything wrong. So the fact that we still had as much fun as we did running the game wrong, I think is a testament to just, it was a good group. It was a good story.
Yeah.
Would I ever play it again now that I know the rules? Yeah, probably. I'd probably play a short series like in that rule set. You know what I'm saying? That'd be pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind playing in like an Aliens one shot if Dirk ever offered to run like an Aliens one shot. If my schedule aligned, I'd definitely sign up. I'd love to play in a game with Dirk as the game master. I think that'd be amazing. So yeah, like overall it was good. But I'm glad it's over because I think everybody in that group had too much going on. I mean, Leah plays 10 games a week. Signed up for another one. I don't know. I think that'll be 10. I think that will be 10 if they sign up for another game. I don't know. It's bad. It's bad. Yep. Caden X has every hobby. Name a hobby, he has that hobby. So his plate's full. Basil heading off to university. Dirk, he's got a little bit more free time, but he's dealing with some shit. And then he's also in like a bunch of other games, from what I understand. He's in a bunch of other games. So like, it was just like time, like we had fun playing it over the summer. And then we tried to make time and we just couldn't. And so it was nice to get everybody together, finish it up, and move on to other things.
All right.
Yeah, but. All right, that brings us to 8, and you got to go get ready for your game at 9, and I got to go have some dinner. I hope everybody in chat is having a good time this weekend. I hope you don't get too sick next Friday, but if you do, we're going to have a triage center set up on the Discord server. So if you need community, medical advice, that sort of thing, that's going to be there for anyone that gets sick on the 28th of February. I heard that's when this flu virus is really going to hit the whole world super hard. So if that happens, know that, you can always come hang out on our Discord while you're sick. Just saying.
Yep.
All right. On that note, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks, or we'll see you around the Discord, or we'll just see you next time.
All righty. Take care.
Sweet. I still didn't make any time to learn a second weapon. I only know Switch X. Yeah, I'm excited. I think my off weapon's gonna be bow. I'm gonna try to learn bow finally. Cause bow's like a ranged weapon, but not really. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like if greatsword was pointier. I don't know. Like maybe faster, like a faster greatsword. Kind of. Not really. Yeah. It's definitely its own thing. It's definitely its own thing. Yeah. Oh, my bad.